This is America's largest rainbow pride flag.
I'm going to show you what Philly Pride was like, other things I got up to while in town for that, and another unexpectedly LGBTQ-friendly city nearby in the heart of Amish country. So Pride Day in Philadelphia started out with a bunch of speakers who were prominent and outspoken members of the local LGBTQ community. This Pride felt quite political and passionate and focused on everything that's needed to keep moving LGBTQ rights and acceptance forward. And after those motivational words, we all took to the streets for a march as opposed to a parade so everyone could join in. It was very much a big community and activism-based Pride. Some people chanted, some held signs, and some held the giant flag. At 400 feet long, this was the debut of what is the biggest rainbow pride flag in the US. Many people carried it or watched it being carried all the way to the Pride Festival, where multiple streets were shut down to just foot traffic, and those streets were lined up with booths from all kinds of vendors, food trucks to grab a little snack like this teeny tiny mango habanero fried mac and cheese chicken sandwich that was delicious, and some stages for DJs and dancing. There was also a big stage area where there were a variety of performers, including rappers, singers, and drag queens, like the headliner, Philly's own Safira Cristal, who was of course one of the finalists on RuPaul's Drag Race. It all made for an inspiring and entertaining day of Pride in Philadelphia. And then since I was there, I of course wanted to check out some of the city as well because there's so much history and shopping and Philly cheesesteaks. I walked around Rittenhouse Square, which is a public park in the city center that was one of the 5 original squares planned by the city founder in the late 17th century. And then I went over to Independence Hall, where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States were debated and adopted by the founding fathers. In 1776, Congress signed the Declaration of Independence here, and then 11 years later, delegates created and signed the United States Constitution here. So much American history in this spot. I wonder what they would have thought of the state of the country now. Who knows? But right across from it is a building that holds the Liberty Bell, which used to be in Independence Hall, but it's now on display here, and it's an iconic symbol of American independence. It first rang in the late 18th century and didn't crack until almost a century of use. And then I had to get that Philly cheesesteak, because like, how do you go to Philadelphia and not have one of those? This place, Ish Kabibbles, also had these pizza fries, which were kind of crazy. I definitely enjoyed the sandwich. I ate some of the fries, and then I headed out to walk down the street that it's on, which is South Street, and it has all kinds of murals and art and quirky stores. Lots to just look at as you walk around, and interesting stuff to see in the stores. Like just around the corner, I went into the South Street Art Mart, and they had a lot of fun, quirky stuff. But I also took a quick drive over to the Philly AIDS thrift store, which is huge. 2 giant levels of all kinds of secondhand stuff. It's a nonprofit that gives its proceeds to local organizations involved in the fight against HIV/AIDS. And then finally, I went over to Love Park in John F. Kennedy Plaza to get a shot with the iconic Love statue that has actually been there continuously since the 70s. I fell in love with this city, and now I have the video to prove it. But as I mentioned at the beginning, there's more to see in the state of Pennsylvania than just the city of Philadelphia, so I also drove just under 2 hours away to Lancaster in the heart of Amish country. The oldest continuously running farmers market in the United States of America is here in this 120-year-old building at the Lancaster Central Market. There are a mix of Amish and non-Amish vendors with all kinds of yummy and crafty things to buy. Downtown Lancaster also has a gallery row where there are a bunch of different galleries that you can go into to see all kinds of art from both local and international artists. It's a very cute city with a thriving art scene and with all kinds of cute shops for anything else you might want to look for. I walked around and just popped into different stores to see what they had for sale, and there was a lot of interesting stuff. And as you can see, the city is very LGBTQ friendly as well. Lancaster itself is a thriving modern city. It's more Amish when you go out into Lancaster County. So I did, and I had lunch at Miller's Smorgasbord, which has been around for 95 years. It's a huge buffet, and some of their specialties are their chicken pot pie, baked cabbage, and fried chicken. There were so many options, and I stuffed myself before going on an Amish farm tour with Aaron and Jessica's buggy rides, which gave me a chance to experience their way of life during an hour-long ride and a tour of a working Amish farm. I can't show you any of the Amish people I met because they don't like to be photographed or recorded, but luckily the animals seem to be fine with it, so I can show you them. And then I went to Intercourse, and not just because it's the best name for a town that I've ever heard, but because the Kitchen Kettle Village is there, which has over 40 unique shops and restaurants, including the Jam and Relish Kitchen, where the Amish make delicious treats. I got some cookies, checked out some other stores, and went back to the city of Lancaster for a presentation at the Zoetropolis Cinema Stillhouse. This is a quirky little theater space where on this evening they were having an historical talk on Prohibition in Lancaster County in the early 30s, which was very interesting. And that was my visit to Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia and Lancaster, which are very different cities, but both very interesting. I enjoyed them both, and I think it makes for two great places to visit if you find yourself in the state of Pennsylvania. If you're new to my videos, please subscribe for more travel content to LGBTQ-friendly destinations, and follow me on Instagram @Josh Reimer to see photos and reels from my trips as well, and stories in real time. Bye!